Sovereignty is in some ways the most basic idea of modern international relations. States are the representation of sovereignty. The 190 plus states are the principal actors in the world. Sovereignty means that within the borders of a state, that government has complete authority. The people who control a country, they are able to decide what kind of a political system they want to have. They have a control over the resources. They have a monopoly on the legitimate use of force. They're meant to control what goes in and what comes out. They are the sole legitimate representative of the country as a whole. And states agree to recognize these rights of other states. So essentially, sovereignty is a set of understandings. You can do pretty much as you please within your borders in exchange for my being able to do pretty much as I please within my borders. A good deal of history has been about the urge of peoples to have countries of their own, essentially to become sovereign. When sovereignty came along as an idea, roughly 4 centuries ago, it was a big innovation because before then, you had a world not made up of states for the most part, not made up of countries, of empires and the like, where you had constant warring, where one party was always involved in the internal workings of another. So when sovereignty came about, a hands-off mutual understanding, that dramatically reduced the amount of conflict. So that was an extraordinarily positive idea. We've also seen the limits to the idea of sovereignty. It doesn't deal with the problem of when states are too weak, they can't manage what goes on within their borders. It doesn't deal with what happens when the government itself is the threat to the peace within its borders. It doesn't prevent war, we obviously know that. What we see constantly throughout history is that territory is fought over. Sovereignty is not a panacea, but it has set some of the basic ground rules of international relations. Sovereignty is being challenged in some ways as never before. From above, if you look at Europe, for example, you have supranational arrangements. The European Union is a challenge to sovereignty where governments voluntarily give up certain powers to Brussels. Sovereignty is being challenged from below. Groups like ISIS, drug cartels, pirate organizations. These are entities that don't recognize the legitimate, unique role of the state. Sovereignty is being challenged from the side. Globalization, when particles of carbon or emails travel, they don't say, oh, I have to stop at the border because that's a sovereign state. The challenge is how to introduce this wrinkle without undoing some of the good things of sovereignty, which have essentially kept the world from constantly being at war with itself.